Who's the champ after this week's TNA TV tapings? Who's got the best chance to win the Royal Rumble? Is the Bullet Club actually heading to WWE? My name is Robbie Diesel. I'm going to answer all these questions as well as address the latest news in the world of wrestling this week on my Wrestling Week in Review. Some pretty hot news coming out of TNA this week. We got to see Jeff Hardy back in the ring once again after breaking his leg in a motorcycle accident. It looks like they're kind of giving Jeff Hardy the slow and easy treatment. Both matches that he's worked so far have been on the short side. I think they were both under 3 minutes or right at 3 minutes, one of the two. This week he wrestled Tyrus, and the match ended right at the 3 minute mark via disqualification. And it looks like Jeff Hardy's back, but I don't know if he's going to shoulder a heavy workload. It seems like he might still have some lingering issues with that leg injury. His brother Matt faced off against EC3 this week in the TNA match of the week. It was a last man standing match. Title versus career. Matt Hardy as the babyface, and of course EC3 as the dastardly heel champ going in. The match itself was actually pretty good. It was kind of a throwback to the old school WCW, WWE, no DQ championship matches. There were ladders used. There was a pretty decent twist of fate spot through a table. It was a very well paced match, and the build up to it was pretty solid as well. In the end, you got to see Tyrus actually turn on EC3, and Matt Hardy turned heel as well. So TNA is attempting to pull off a little bit of a double turn. Matt Hardy is going to be the heel world heavyweight champ. He did win, by the way, with the help of Tyrus and his wife Reby. And Matt Hardy's going to be the heel champ going forward, and EC3 maybe is going to be the baby face. Most of the time the double turns will generally work. It worked excellent a couple of years ago when WWE did it with Alberto Del Rio and Dolph Ziggler. Flip-flop those two, and I'm curious to see if it'll work out as good for TNA. What was interesting, after Matt Hardy won the title, he went on an epic Twitter rant. It was a little over the top, and I understand he's trying to heal it up right now, but some of the stuff was like absolutely ridiculous. He actually made a point to point out the fact that he had more followers on Twitter than TNA itself, which I get it. He's being a heel, and he's putting himself over and above the company, and he's the greatest thing ever. Not so good that you'd want to point that out, especially with how TNA is still struggling to climb up the mountaintop, per se. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out over the course of the next few weeks. Lucha Underground is returning next week, Wednesday the 27th. Lucha Underground returns for season number 2. I have been a very, very big fan of the product. I loved how things turned out last year. A bit disappointing that Alberto El Patron, a.k.a. Alberto Del Rio, re-signed with WWE, because I personally think he did some of the best work of his career in Lucha Underground. And it's going to be interesting to see how they fill that void with him as well. But for those of you who have been wanting to catch up on Lucha Underground, this Saturday is your chance. Lucha Underground is going to have a 40-hour marathon from episode 1 all the way through the season finale. Starts at 10 a.m. on the El Rey Network. Check with your cable provider to see exactly which channel that is. Check it out. It's a good promotion. You will not be disappointed. More rumors from the WWE front. So the last time I cut a video, I reported on Shinsuke Nakamura, AJ Styles, Carl Anderson, and Doc Gallows all leaving New Japan and headed to WWE. Back then, it was a rumor. Now it is all but confirmed. All four athletes are most definitely headed over to WWE, and all parties involved have definitely, with the exception of Nakamura, he's been basically radio silent, but everybody involved has been teasing and poking and prodding at the fans. One thing that's really interesting in particular is at a live event at an indie show, AJ Styles actually teased that he could be entering the WWE as soon as this Sunday at the Royal Rumble, which that would be amazing. But I don't think it's time to debut him. I would keep AJ Styles held back until at least the night after WrestleMania. That's just me personally, though. That's what I would do. A couple of big feuds headed into the Royal Rumble. One of which being a Divas feud, actually. Yeah, no, I can't believe I'm saying it either. Charlotte and Becky Lynch. That feud has actually been built pretty solid. There's been tons of back and forth booking ever since Charlotte turned heel on her best friend Becky Lynch. They've been going back and forth. Last week on Raw, Charlotte was scheduled to have a match against Brie Bella. Becky Lynch came in with a run-in, hit Charlotte with a pretty solid beatdown, and believe it or not, Becky Lynch was actually getting cheered by the crowd. She's getting herself over, which is cool. They need that. They need more relevant divas if the main roster divas are to compete with the women wrestlers of NXT. They absolutely have to have more talent over. And I'm a big fan of Charlotte. I think she's got the look. She's got, of course, the pedigree. She's got the best teacher in the game to be a heel. None other than her dad, the Nature Boy. Woo! Ric Flair. All right, that was probably a bit much, but you get the gist of it. She's got her dad in her corner as her manager, and it's been working out. Charlotte will be a good Divas champion for the foreseeable future. I don't see her dropping the title to Becky at the Royal Rumble. But on the flip side, with the work that Becky's been doing, I could see her getting over as a face champion as well. She's another one. She's got a good look. I don't know why, to be honest. I can't really put a finger on it, but I dig Becky's entrance music. I love her entrance with the cryo smoke, whatever it is. It's pretty solid. Again, you get enough fans behind her, and she'd be pretty big in the biz too. Another big feud, Dean Ambrose versus Kevin Owens for the Intercontinental title. Surprisingly enough, this one is also a last man standing match at the Royal Rumble. I'm excited for this feud too. This feud was had a really good old school vibe to it as well. I mean, there's been no fancy promos, there's been no extra long segments, anything like that. Both me and Ambrose and Owens have been letting the physicality do the talking, and that's what's sorely missing. The physicality, actual fighting during these rivalries, during these programs, during these feuds. Dean Ambrose and Kevin Owens week by week have been going at each other back and forth every single week. This week on Raw, Kevin Owens hit Ambrose with a distraction, cost him and Kalisto to lose their match against, I believe it was Sheamus and Del Rio. It was a pretty solid back and forth match, and I am greatly looking forward to seeing how Ambrose and Owens work together in a last man standing match. With those two guys put together, honestly, this could be the match of the night. And I know I haven't even touched on the Royal Rumble yet, but with those two together, Owens just being a wrestler's wrestler and Ambrose being super over the top but also really good in the ring, this could be the match of the night, hands down. Also on Raw, we got the revelation that Vince McMahon and Roman Reigns will continue their feud going forward, it looks like. There's a really weird segment where Vince and Stephanie were out and they had this roller cage full of balls that they were pulling the number one entrant into the Royal Rumble. Spoiler alert. Of course, all of the names and the balls were Roman Reigns' names. There was no other name on any of the slips inside of there. They pulled Roman Reigns' name 3 times, so he'll be starting off in the Royal Rumble as number 1, and there's no number 2. Usually that spot is reserved for either a surprise entrant or someone making their return. So could be Randy Orton starting off as number 2. It could be Daniel Bryan making his return. It could be AJ Styles. Nobody knows at this point. The funniest part from that segment, though, to me, was the fact that Vince McMahon could not open several of those balls. And it was hilarious watching him struggle. He would pull one out and twist and crank, and you could see he was getting mad. He's, give me this. Damn it, it won't open. Damn it, you're fired. Hilarity. Absolute hilarity. If you DVR'd it, go back and watch just that. It'll make it all worth it. The ending of Monday Night Raw was super spectacular. You got to see Chris Jericho in the highlight reel, Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns. Let's get it on. As soon as Brock hits the ring, he eats a spear from Roman Reigns. So they are obviously still wanting to book Roman super strong. After the first spear, though, League of Nations comes down. They kind of dispatch of Roman Reigns. Brock gets back up from the spear, dispatches of the League of Nations, Suplex City, all over the place. Reigns gets back up, boom, nails Brock with a second spear, puts him down. Just as he's getting up, lights go out, Wyatts appear. All 4 corners of the ring, you have 4 Wyatts. They get in there. They hit Roman Reigns with an epic beatdown. Bray steps in, hits Reigns with his sister Abigail. Dunzo. Brock struggling to his feet, gets nailed by Harper, nailed by Rowan, nailed by Strowman, and then Bray Wyatt also hits Brock Lesnar with the Sister Abigail's kiss. I'm sorry. I'm excited. And they went off the air with that. They went off the air with the Wyatts standing tall, which is how it should have been for a very long time. Bray Wyatt is masterful on the mic. He has the proper backing to him. I mean, he's got 3 giant dudes. Why wouldn't he be relevant in the WWE? Why has he been booked to lose so often? I have no clue, but hopefully this is a sign of things to come. And I think that in doing so, they kind of gave away the direction that they're going to be heading towards for WrestleMania. I don't think that Brock Lesnar is going to be facing Roman Reigns in the main event at WrestleMania. I think Brock Lesnar is definitely going to have a higher tier match, but I think it's going to be against Bray Wyatt and the Wyatts, or Bray Wyatt with the Wyatts. So stay tuned for that feud. I don't think Roman Reigns is going to walk out of Royal Rumble as champ. I think that spot is reserved for the game. Triple H has been suspiciously silent on social media, and we have not seen him on TV since he got throttled by Reigns. So I think he is going to be another surprise entrant into the Rumble, and I think he's more than likely going to win it, and that is going to be your main event at Mania. I think Triple H is going to win the Rumble in the championship. Roman Reigns is going to have to go in the fast lane to do something to win the number 1 contendership. Maybe it's Roman Reigns and Brock at Fastlane. The Wyatts cost Brock the match at Fastlane as well. And then you have your WrestleMania main event set. That's it. That's all I got so far for the wrestling weekend review. If I missed something, drop it in the comments below. Let me know. Let me know what you think about anything that I said. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you like what was going on? Did you watch TNA? Are you going to watch Lucha Underground? Shoot it all over this way. Let me know. Also, if you like what you see, go ahead and click that like button. And then, more importantly, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I'm going to be doing one of these videos every single week, bringing you the latest news, rumors, and happenings in the world of pro wrestling across all promotions. Ring of Honor, Lucha Underground, WWE, TNA, you name it, we'll talk about it. That's it, guys. That's been this week's Wrestling Week in Review. Continue the conversation with me on Twitter. Until then, my name is Robbie Diesel, and I am out of here.